Competition breeds rivalry. Sometimes it's between organizations, their legacies evolving with every exchange.
KT rolls to SK Telecom, a rivalry that transcends League of Legends.
Tries to clean it up for Ryu. Oh, look at the cleanse, look at the moves! Faker, what was that?
Sometimes it's two competitors at the peak of their powers trading blows.
This has been nicknamed the Dream Final. So many players have been waiting for a final such as this one with two people who just seem to be unbeatable. And it's almost gone. He takes it out. And the SCV making the other star port. Jadong is still in control of this game. Flash is falling apart fast.
But sometimes a rivalry is built from something else. A difference in mindset. A casual enmity born from a lack of respect. When HuK and IdrA clashed in the early 2010s, it was the fresh-faced new hope against the grizzled, foul-mouthed Brood War veteran. And it was always worth watching.
The Void Ray's all hallucinations, doing absolutely no damage whatsoever.
Hey, but before we get into it, if you want this sweet Kappa shirt from our What Is series, or plenty of other theScore eSports branded shirts just like it, you can check out theScore eSports merch department, which you can find a link to in the comments below.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our next player. Known as the Kraken, from Team Evil Geniuses, IdrA.
Greg IdrA Fields had long been a foreigner in a game dominated by Koreans. He even moved to the country and joined Korean teams like Istro and CJ Entus. By the time StarCraft 2 rolled around, IdrA was the foremost foreigner in Brood War. But IdrA became known for something else, too. Being unafraid to speak his mind, shit-talking on ladder, and generally pushing the limits of sportsmanship.
This guy's really bad. This guy's just bad. Actually, this guy's terrible. He is terrible. This guy's actually awful. He's just awful.
All right, what do you think about Cruncher, and how do you think this match is going to go?
I'm playing really bad, but it's more than enough to beat him.
All right, guys, well, shake hands if you're going to. And let's go ahead and get in the booth, guys.
As competition in the West mostly shifted towards StarCraft 2, a new breed of foreign hopes arose. And one among them, HuK Loringer, showed promise.
This week, you are actually in the final, so how do you feel about that?
I feel great. I mean, this is my second LAN of all time, so the experience is definitely adding up. ESL was a real challenge for me just because it was my first LAN. Hopefully I continue to do well.
He boasted a strong win-loss record during the game's beta period, which earned him tournament invites and a chance to play for Team Millennium.
I do want to continue to emphasize that fact about HuK, the fact that he's just laid back and he's very embracing of all the situations he's in. He doesn't even think of himself as like the best player in the world. He's always asking players for advice, and when he loses games, I mean, we've even seen IdrA lose games, and IdrA tends to say, oh, that's a terrible strategy, you'll never get far doing that. But HuK says, God, I can't believe you beat me that badly. I got to figure out how to not make that happen. And he literally says it like that. I've seen him do it in private practice games with other players.
His style was aggressive and unpredictable, switching between standard builds and more unpredictable strategies, like the Mothership Rush.
Just spent his gas on a fleet beacon. Mothership Rush? Really?
Wait, he's actually going to do it? Are you kidding me?
With Druby going for this fast expand build, he's not going to have...
Oh my God! There are cannons being built in the base of Druby. Oh my God, GG, and he wins! He friggin' wins the map with a Mothership! I don't even know.
But while he was hyped during the beta, HuK fell short at his first post-release LAN in Cologne, exiting the tournament in the group stage. He bounced back quickly, taking first place at MLG Raleigh 2010.
And GG!
Not going to be enough. HuK winning that series decisively.
And HuK is the grand champion here at MLG Raleigh. Let's give another round of applause for our champion, HuK.
The grizzled veteran and the rising star, IdrA and HuK were on a collision course. The two faced off at MLG DC 2010.
No way that it's going to come out, and that will stop it. And
GG. Who would have thought you could see a spine crawler push at the 12-minute mark in the game? The probes are now pulling off, but there's very little that HuK can do about this.
Yep,
and there's the good game.
Wow.
People like to say IdrA is a macro-oriented player, but that is a stroke of genius strategy.
IdrA sent HuK, who had recently joined Team Liquid, to the losers bracket with a 2-0 drubbing. There, against Select, HuK tried out one of the tricks he was becoming known for, the Mothership Rush. But it didn't work out, and IdrA ended up taking the whole tournament for Evil Geniuses.
So HuK, retard or poster boy for StarCraft 2 eSports?
Retard. But since the community is retarded, both.
HuK he brought in the audience, they laughed, it was great, but he threw the game away.
Even though the Mothership failed and IdrA had won the tournament, the move brought attention to HuK and earned him fans in the nascent StarCraft 2 scene. HuK lost to IdrA again at EG Masters Cup Series 3, with IdrA displaying some serious BM as he attacked with his drones and started building a hatchery in HuK's main base.
Now sending in the drones to try to build hatcheries. Such cruelty. Oh, IdrA, oh, it's not necessary, and there's the good game.
IdrA lived in Korea at the time and traveled to attend foreign events, while HuK was based in North America. But HuK made the move to Korea, beginning a series of encounters between the two players on ladder and further pushing their rivalry.
Stalkers now blinking in. They are going to go to work on those Broodlords. Great storms going down on the units of IdrA. IdrA needs to pull back. IdrA ruffling, but I'm sure not in happiness. All those units dying very quickly. IdrA moving in. IdrA a little bit unhappy about the results of this game, and he does leave it.
HuK continued to use unconventional strategies like Cannon Rush Cheese against IdrA on a ladder. IdrA, for his part, made it clear that he had a distaste for Protoss players.
Nah, he's a piece of trash who wouldn't win any games if he didn't play Protoss.
IdrA with a little bit of BM there.
And their next LAN meeting, MLG Dallas 2011, featured one of the most infamous moments in their rivalry. Facing off in the group stage, IdrA took Game 1 against HuK, and it looked like he would have Game 2 as well. He'd built up a considerable lead and was just one good engagement away from a win. But IdrA's late game army had one major weakness. It wasn't terribly effective against air units, like Void Rays, which IdrA suddenly found himself facing down.
Now out on the field, and it looks like there's some Zerglings doing a counterattack in the main. The Void Rays, all hallucinations, doing absolutely no damage whatsoever. There's the blink up onto the high ground, just trying to distract IdrA. Those hallucinated Void Rays almost fully charged, Wheat. And IdrA left the game. Oh my goodness, IdrA.
Just take a look at this. We saw the Stalkers come up here, start to target fire these Broodlords, and if you look down here, there's only a couple of Stalkers and a ton of sentries that would have died oh so quick to that, including their ability to take out those Colossi right there. All the rest of the Stalkers were over on that ramp trying to get back around. And the supply is actually higher for IdrA.
A little bit of a blunder there by IdrA, not actually playing it out to the very end, losing to hallucinated Void Rays. So we will be going on to the final game three.
Wow, that
was against IdrA.
That was pretty amazing right there.
The units might not have been real, but HuK's victory was, and HuK wanted IdrA to know it. So he told him at the next game, and got a predictable response.
Let me give some props to HuK. I mean, that was very, very smart. Well, oh man, you know what? StarCraft is not only a very intensive mental game, but it can be psychological as well.
While HuK won the battle, taking that series, IdrA won the war. After the group stage, they faced off again, with IdrA winning 4-2. And after the event, he couldn't pass up the chance to talk more shit about HuK.
So HuK can't win in a real game, huh?
Pretty much. He wouldn't win at all if he didn't play Protoss. He's actually kind of retarded.
Stand by your guns on that one. How good did it feel to knock him off after the games yesterday?
Really good.
I mean, IdrA can say what he wants. He likes to talk and lie a lot. I remember in a previous interview he said he beats me all the time when realistically the last 40 games we've played he's won maybe 5. He just sometimes a cocky and all this other shit. So, you know, I tried being nice to IdrA. IdrA wants to continue doing whatever he's doing. It's fine with me. I don't care.
And while HuK did eventually get the better of IdrA, wins at Home Story Cup 3 and the North American Blizzard Invitational put HuK on the board, the latter victory denying his opponent a spot at BlizzCon.
HuK eliminates IdrA. That means we have 2 Team Liquid players in the top 3. IdrA, one of the big favorites to win this event, is eliminated in 4th place.
And by August, the rivalry took an even stranger turn. Huck left Team Liquid to join Evil Geniuses, turning him and IdrA from rivals to teammates.
They played it up in the promotional stuff about you versus Huck and this big rivalry thing. How much was it really like a rivalry of like dislike before for you with Huck when he was in like other teams?
We never disliked each other personally. We always got on pretty well. We have a really similar sense of humor, actually. We're pretty good friends, even before he joined EG. But I just didn't respect his play very much and kind of said so. But he's improved a lot. Obviously, he's been practicing really hard in Korea for a long time. So yeah, there's no friction at all there anymore.
Unable to weaponize their fan bases in the same way as they used to, that was pretty much the end of Huck and IdrA's rivalry. IdrA continued to talk shit, of course. He just directed at other players after Huck joined EG. And after eventually quitting StarCraft 2 in mid-2013, IdrA had a very brief stint in Heroes of the Storm, representing EG in the game's very first BlizzCon appearance.
I'm honestly a lot calmer playing Heroes of the Storm. The biggest thing is it's a team game, and it's like purely a team game. It's the opposite end of the spectrum from Brood War. All that matters is how well you work with your team and like the strategy, the thinking portion of the game. And if you get pissed off and like you start raging, then that affects your teammates.
Recently, IdrA revealed that he hasn't owned a computer in some time, and these days, he's mostly focused on fitness.
No, I haven't owned a functioning desktop in like 2 years now. I was just a really competitive person, and StarCraft happened to be the competition that stuck. And now, I don't know, I was kind of an angry competitor, so I don't know how healthy it is. So I kind of don't compete anymore. I think weightlifting kind of filled that role for me. But no, StarCraft was just a way to beat people, and that was most of it.
Huck, meanwhile, has successfully transitioned into Overwatch, where he started as a caster and has since become the president of gaming for the Kraft Group, which owns the Boston Uprising. One player has left esports behind, and the other is helping build a new pro scene. But for just under 2 years, while the Western StarCraft 2 fanbase was looking for heroes and villains, IdrA and Huck gave them exactly what they needed. One, a foul-mouthed, confident veteran.
You're kind of notorious for being a little bit bad manner, and me knowing you personally, I would say that might be based on some truth.
What were your thoughts on that game?
I just played really shitty.
Short and sweet.
The other, a fresh-faced new hope who knew how to play to the crowd.
The crowd are loving it, and Huck is your DreamHack Summer champion.
Just thank you. I mean, I think I have the best fans in the world, and I love you guys, and I'm glad you enjoyed my games.
And despite the rivalry being short-lived, the intensity of the two players and the passion of their fans made their conflict one to remember.
The Void Rays, all hallucinations, doing absolutely no damage whatsoever. There's the blink up onto the high ground, just trying to distract IdrA. Those hallucinated Void Rays almost fully charged, and IdrA left the game.
Thanks for watching. If you want more great content just like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button.